Hi everyone, happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend and happy Mother's Day to all the mums out there today. I'm Dr. Trina Hinkley coming at you from the Expanded Self. So I wanted to have a bit of a chat today about self-care and look at that as the theme for this week. Particularly important in all sorts of times of stress, and that's obviously relevant at this time when we're all dealing with lockdown from COVID-19 and a variety of other challenges that are presenting themselves to us. So, a bit of an outline for the week today. I'll chat a little bit about what self-care is and the areas in our life or the domains in our life that it might become important and that we might be able to engage in some practices. Tomorrow I'll delve into some of those practices in a little bit more detail and give some ideas of what they might be. Wednesday I'll have a little bit of a look at the benefits of self-care. Thursday I'll dive in a little bit more deeply into one, maybe two self-care practices so that you can get something a bit useful out of that. And Friday I have a little bit of a meditation that I'll share with you around self-care. So and I am using notes because I cannot keep all these details in my head, as nerdy as I might like to be. So self-care has been used as a term and a concept for more than 100 years now, but it really only started becoming important at the end of the 20th century, so around 30 or 40 years ago, when people in the helping professions, so doctors, psychiatrists, social workers, those sorts of professions, started to see a bit of a rise of work-related stress, and people became aware that people in those professions were giving a lot to their clients and their patients, but not looking after themselves as well as they might like to. So self-care became a bit more of an issue at that time, and a little bit more research started being done. In terms of a definition, we define self-care as the practice of taking action to look after and improve our health, well-being, and happiness, and at the same time to limit negative outcomes from the experiences that we might have in life. And this is particularly relevant, as I said, during periods of stress. So there are a couple of aims of self-care. One is to limit the negative outcomes of the experiences that we might have in our lives, and the second aim obviously is to build some of the positive outcomes that we might have. And when we think about the areas in our life where self-care might be practical, where it might be important for us to look at some self-care practices, when you delve into the literature, there are thousands of studies. There's a sort of between 4 and 10 different domains or different areas of our lives that self-care might be practical. So I'm going to look at 6 areas today, and we'll work with those across the week. And I'm picking 6 because 10 just seems like a ridiculous number that nobody can ever get their head around. And 6 seems to be a really common number of domains that researchers look at around self-care. So the first one is the physical domain. So this, of course, is looking at the needs of the physical body for optimal health and well-being. And it includes things like optimal nutrition, sleep, exercise, but it also includes health maintenance. So the idea of going to the doctor for a regular checkup or going if you're not well for support. The second area is professional. So this is the idea of managing or preventing work-related stress and stresses, so supporting yourself in your work environment. The third area is the relational domain. So this is really relevant for us at the moment. This is the idea of social connection, social interaction, social support. So we might think in this area about the support that we get from other people, from people in our social network to support us in our health and well-being. But also in this area, it's really important for us to think about altruism. So the idea of actually giving to somebody else, so identifying the need that somebody else has and giving to them. And there's a fair bit of evidence around benefits to us from altruistic acts. And we might also think here about virtual social networks, and that might be particularly relevant. Now, the research to date is not particularly favourable on those, but that might be different given what we're going through around COVID-19 at the moment. So it'd be interesting just to watch that and see what happens. The fourth domain is the emotional domain. So this is the idea of engaging in practices that are around safeguarding against or addressing negative emotional experiences and also supporting positive emotional experiences. So this includes, but certainly is not limited to, identifying and replacing destructive ways of coping. So kind of have been engaging in my own destructive way of coping at the moment, where I am eating much too much chocolate. So an opportunity for me this week perhaps to look at that a little bit. The fifth domain is the psychological domain, and this is about pursuing and satisfying intellectual needs and purposeful and reflective efforts to understand and attend to the overall needs of ourselves. So what is it that we need to do to think about perhaps some intellectual pursuits, or the idea of developing greater self-awareness from which we might be able to grow. And the final domain is the spiritual domain. So this can include faith-based practices or non-faith-based practices, and really is about offering space to ourselves to reflect on our own inner needs and our role and our place within the world and the universe. So this can include things like spending time in nature, which anybody who knows me knows that I love, and all of us who love time in nature are probably missing it terribly at the moment. So they're the 6 domains that I wanted just to mention to you today, and the definition, just so we've got a bit of an idea, a bit of a foundation to work from as we work through the week. Apologies if my video is moving a little bit today. I have had to hand hold my camera because I was having trouble with technology. It was not working for me at all today. I hope to have that rectified by tomorrow. Most of the information that I've shared with you today has been taken from one particular study, and I'm really happy to share that with you. If anybody's interested, please message me. And please remember to pop on over and check out www.theexpandedself.life. Lots of little goodies there for you to enjoy. You're able to connect with me there if you want to, as well as through Facebook. And please check out the Treasures page where there is a free meditation download for you. Hope you have a great day, and I'll come back tomorrow. Bye.